heard of an intuitive collage?
No.
Good. Because I've only done it once, so I'm not coming to you as an expert. But one of the things that I like about this is that there's not like a wrong way and a right way. It's intuitive.
Like a tie-dye.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to start off with a quote that I know that you all have heard like 1,000 times, but I think it goes with this activity really well. And it's by Carl Jung. How do you say it, Amy?
Carl Jung.
Jung.
Oh, yeah.
Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. So that's a little bit of what we're trying to do today. Not find the right answer or the next thing, but just wake up what's already inside of us. And we're gonna do that through collage. I'm gonna give you some materials in a minute, and you are probably at some point going to want a table. And Amy and I thought about bringing in like cafeteria style tables, but we really don't want this to feel like school. So we're gonna use the little tables that are around, or I'm happy to bring you one of these wooden chairs so you can have like a little personal table right in front of you. So take some deep breaths, quiet your mind. I'm gonna pass out some images to each of you, and there's plenty. And I'm gonna talk a little bit before you start looking through them, so restrain yourself.
You look kind of students here.
And my hope is that this is an activity where you end up with a finished product that's meaningful to you. And also a tool that you could use with students or teachers or clients or whoever.
Are you handing people things that you picked out specifically for them? It's
Okay,
random?
I know.
Okay.
What if I said yes? That would be fun. I should have just done that as a joke.
I mean,
Yes. We're probably gonna feel that it was specific for us.
I just saw Denise saying like, this is me.
Restrain yourself.
Kind of person.
So there's extras in the middle, and then these I didn't give to anybody on purpose because they're from like a collage book. So they're more, it's not random, it's more themed, but if you want to come look through the middle. So what you're gonna do, you have a little mat board, but you don't need that yet. That's what it's gonna eventually be pasted on. And you're gonna start with this little collection that I gave you, but you're not limited to that, so don't panic. And you're just gonna thumb through it and pick things that resonate with you or that you feel attracted to. And that's not necessarily like a positive attraction. It could be a negative attraction too. It could be, you see a snake and it stirs something up within you and you want to hold on to that snake. So eventually you're gonna have leftover, like lots of leftover. You're gonna put them on the table and then you can look through other people's leftovers. You're probably gonna end up with 10-ish, maybe even less images that in a little while we'll do scissors and glue and put them on your mat board. No, just one side. And I don't know. I think the sides are the same. Yeah.
Oh,
It almost
I
looks
felt
like
this
it's
side.
curved.
yeah.
Like a
I think this is the side you were
Okay.
working on.
Yeah. We'll ask Chris. She's correct.
I don't know.
Interior design.
No. But I mean, I just see it. I can't even describe the difference. But like,
Okay.
These are one of your backgrounds in the interior design. Yeah.
All right. You don't have to restrain yourself anymore.
Oh.
Okay. You can just start looking through your images. You want to look for things that are going to be good background images. You want to look for things that are landscapes and nature and plants, but also symbols, people. You kind of want to avoid words, which I broke that rule. When I show you mine, you'll see
Yeah, I like
It's
kind of
the
why.
documentation.
But remember, this is not
This is not working.
a vision board.
working. Maybe it's not meant to.
It's not a vision board, is that what you said?
That's kind of the only rule.
What,
This
how
is
is
not a
it,
vision board.
what does that mean? What,
I know,
That
what's the difference?
means that it's not about striving and success and next and what you're gonna force. It's about what's happening for you right now. And I love a vision board. There's nothing wrong with vision boards, but that's not what this is. It's kind of the antithesis of a vision board. And remember, we're going slow because in our jobs and even in our not jobs, we have to go fast all the time. This is a forced slowness. Don't be in a rush.
We're rushing from pencil.
Okay. Can you talk to me more about like what this intuitive board kind of like means to you? Because I feel like I'm having a hard time. I'm thinking vision board, and it's hard for me to be in the moment.
Yes. It's very hard to be in the moment because we're not
Right.
trained to be in the moment. We're trained to be efficient.
Yes.
And efficient is not in the moment. But in the moment is the moment is all we ever have, really, right? And that's where our control is. If we have any control, it's right here. So the intuitive collage is about tapping into the power that's right here instead of trying to fix or achieve or plan or control.
Like vision board is kind of like manifesting
Yes.
where I'd like to go,
Right.
rather
So it's
than
forcing you
just
to be in the moment.
things. Right. It's appreciating
So-
where you are.
So we should be picking things that we like right now.
Yes. Don't make it goal oriented. And that doesn't mean it's not
Yeah.
beautiful,
Yeah.
right?
Like if you were walking down a trail, do I go right or left?
Yeah. You just go.
Do I
Wherever
like
you're-
look at
Yeah.
this tree or
Yeah.
do I look at the creek? Do I and go that way?
I'm gonna walk around and show everybody my example as we are. Some of you are ready to glue. If you're not ready to glue, that's fine. And remember, I've done this once, so not an expert at all. You can put like either.
I've been looking at this every week on your desk.
You can obviously do either direction, and I broke the rule about a word because to me the images that resonated with me are what I was drawn to right then and what I needed and what I still need, which is to be in nature and remember that I have everything I need inside of me. I love the nest.
Oh,
And so I put the word next. One, because I really liked the like honeycomb background, but also because it was kind of a little joke to me. Like, stop thinking about next and just do this. Like a reminder. Yes. You're gonna have to make some stuff really small.
That was on the back.
It's all good. Lori, you don't have to clean it all up. Calm down. You can.
Can we do it?
I'm gonna show y'all the book where most of the images obviously just came from magazines, which is actually super fun to like flip through a magazine and pull images out. It feels like you're in the 90s, you know. You're at your store, you just got the Cosmo and you're flipping through. But they also on Amazon or other places, I'm sure they have actual like collage books that are meant for collaging. And that's where all those like the dog pictures and the feathers, and they just have like everything that you could possibly think of. So this would be a great thing for your office if you feel like you would do this activity. I like this activity for a couple of reasons. Sorry, I should set this down. And one is that you don't have to be a good artist, which I am not. You do not have to have a background in interior design or art to do a collage, right? It's very accessible. And then I also like that you could do it with students as a group activity. You could adapt it to be a little bit easier or simpler for younger kids. And you can even do it with an individual. Like say you've been meeting with a student for a few months and it's time for a closing session. It's really nice for them to have something tangible that they get to take with them. So lots of ways to use this in your work. If you're still gluing, that's fine. Don't feel any pressure. There's no today, but we're just gonna kind of discuss. Did anybody have any thoughts about either the product or the process that they wanna share?
This is our makeshift altar that we just threw together here. And I think so. Some of you know this one. You've done this with me before. What are you laughing at our altar?
I'm like,
Al is like,
she's right
in line.
So okay, that actually came out of my purse. That actually, I gave that to Edmund like probably 15 years ago, and I gave it to him before trial. And at some point, I always think I lose it and then I re-find it, and that is you. I was like, oh, I have something in my so
Cool.
it's a friendly owl,
Yes.
as they all are.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is, I'm not going to tell you a whole bunch about this, but this is just going to sort of bring us together in a circle and into presence ahead of our yoga session. And we're going to do kind of a different yoga thing today that neither of us have ever done before, but we've discussed, and I've thought about doing it for a long time, and so it'll be kind of an interesting treat, I hope. So one of the ways I work with clients, with people, and for my own practice is called eidetic imagery. You don't even have to know what it is. Doesn't matter. Everyone can do it. You're a human. You're capable. And we're going to do an external version of that right now. And the first thing I'd like you to do is just be comfortable wherever you are. You don't have to sit in a particular position. We're going to do a few rounds of what we call circle breath. Some of you are familiar with this probably. And you just breathe in through the nose for the count of 4 to 5 and out through the mouth for the count of 5. No pauses in between. So just in through the nose and out through the mouth. And if you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes or just look down at the floor. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And feel the full weight of your body being held the floor and the ground beneath you. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Maybe even see a circle as you breathe. And then as you find the regular rhythm of your own breathing, just blink your eyes open. Begin to look at the space before you, in front of you. And to begin to notice the objects that you see. And as you look at the objects in front of you, choose one object. Keep breathing as you notice that object, that you've chosen your object. Notice the physical attributes of what you are seeing. Size, shape, color, and texture, physical attributes. And as you look at that object, choose one of the physical aspects and focus on it. In through the nose and out through the mouth, or along with your rhythm of breath. When I see the raised bumps on the ceramic, I feel comfortable in my sternum. So the sentence is, when I see, I feel. You could say comfortable, uncomfortable, good, bad, tight, open. And then you're going to notice where that comes from in your body. So when I see, I feel. I'm going to go again, and then somebody else can just say what you see. So just focus on the object that you've chosen, and focus on one physical attribute. When I see the deep green of the leaf, I feel comfort across my collarbone. Anybody else want to go?
see the hard, cold bowl. I feel warmth in my hands.
When I see the softness of the butterfly wings, I feel free in my heart.
When I see the variation of color in the rock, I feel peace in my shoulders.
When I see the wispiness of the grass, I feel light in my heart.
When I see that colorful lines of color, I feel like warmth in my heart.
So you'll just notice as you see and you feel, you'll notice that you have a deeper connection in your body with how this image is impacting your physical and emotional body. And this is us being one with this field. This is a deep state of presence that we've stepped into. And this is something you can do all the time, wherever you are. Especially if you're someplace you might not really want to be, you can find a way to be deeply connected to the field and feel held. I'm gonna do a quick little variation of this, and then we're ready for yoga. So just gently close your eyes or gaze down at the floor. And as you find the natural rhythm of your breath, notice the light sources through closed eyes. Notice any sounds in the room or just beyond the room. Smells. Temperature and the air on your skin. And the feeling of sitting on a floor that holds you completely. And then on the next breath round, turn your attention to your internal landscape. Get to notice the beating of your own heart. With the knowing it beats only for you. Notice feelings of satisfaction or thirst. Places where you may be holding tension or places that feel open and relaxed. You can just notice. Notice the ease with which you breathe, the depth of each breath. And become aware of the emotion that may be arising. In the next breath, allow your internal landscape to merge with the room around you. Knowing you're in a safe circle and that all is welcome here. And as you feel ready, lift your eyes
comfy position and just stay for sometimes up to like 5 minutes or several minutes, several breaths. And it's deeply relaxing, and it also is very nice because you can just let yourself kind of surrender into these postures and feel it's just they're like really juicy. You can just let yourself completely go in some of these. So as we enter into some of these more static postures, which we're going to take first, if something doesn't feel good, just please let me know, because there's probably just a really easy adjustment you can do. So these are meant to feel really comfortable, and like you can stay for, maybe like a minute to 3 minutes. And then we'll do some flowing, and then we'll kind of come back down to more static postures. So yeah, don't be shy if something doesn't feel good. So there's a difference between like, oh, this is like, ooh, these muscles are kind of sore, versus like, oh, this pinches, or this like, this feels wrong. So if something feels wrong, please let me know, and I'm happy to come help you out. So we'll start with the blocks at the back of the mat on these settings here. And if you want to just watch first. So the first block is going to be at the base of my shoulder blades, kind of like bra strap level. So it's going to be like right about here. And then the second block is for my head. So if this block feels too low, you can always put it up higher. And same with this block. If this block feels too high, you can put it on the lowest setting, or you can put it on a higher setting. So, and then we'll have our feet will be together and the knees will be out. And again, if that feels like too much, you can keep your knees bent, or you can have your legs straight. So it's really up to you. And I will come around and see. So yours, Sarah, needs to be maybe a little bit higher on your back, just like like right about there. Yeah, so it's kind of like right where, if you're like on your phone and you're like slouching, that's kind of where you want your the block to be. Everyone knows that spot, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So hopefully this is feeling really comfy. And so you can have your feet together, knees out, you can have your legs straight or bent, it's really up to you. And we're just gonna hang here for several breaths, and Jen is going to lead us through a little visualization.
In the brain, there are rapid electrical currents that carry messages from one neuron to the next, and there are also slow, wave-like currents that ebb and flow, creating rhythm throughout the body. These are called slow potentials. See that there are slow potentials in your brain that reflect in your body. They have their own consciousness. This consciousness is pulsating in the brain in the form of slow potentials and ebb and flow in the brain. Relax and experience this slow potential. There are low-grade explosions and electrical sparks of energy. They originate in the brain and flow to all the sense organs. There's a constant flow of slow potentials, like waves and tides going in and out. There's a flow of energy in your whole body and in all of your organs. Feel the constant flow of slow potentials. Your brain and your organs are like musical instruments with cyclic music of slow potentials. All together they create wonderful music of ebb and flow, made of slow potentials that are different from your thoughts and separate from your ego. They are free floating states, like incomplete thoughts and feelings that come and go on their own. Be with these slow potentials and their cyclic and ever-changeful music. This is true consciousness, the feeling of pure consciousness in your body.
I invite you to bring some deeper breaths into your body now, inhaling fully through the nose. Pause when you get to the top of the breath and take another sip or two of air, really filling up, noticing the expansion of the torso, the chest, the heart, and then exhale through the mouth. Nice, long, deep exhalation. When you get to the bottom of the breath, see if you can draw your belly up and in and push out any last bits of air. We'll do that one more time. Nice, long, deep inhale, full breath. Expand, taking up space in your body with your breath. Sip a little bit more air. Pause. Notice the fullness, and then exhale through the mouth. Nice, long, deep, intentional exhalation. Draw the belly button up and in, pushing out any last breath. And then find a few natural breaths here. And you're going to stay reclined, but when you're ready, please take the blocks out from underneath you as gently as you can without disturbing yourself too much. And then just come onto your back again, flat on the floor, legs straight. And just take a moment to notice the sensation now of being flat on the earth. Allow the floor to be like a prop and just let yourself settle into the earth below. Feel the support that you receive. And on your next inhalation, stretch your arms and your legs in opposite directions. Give yourself a big morning stretch. You might even roll the wrists and the ankles, maybe sway a little from side to side. There's no wrong or right answer here. Just let yourself move. And then on your next exhalation, hug your right knee into your chest. Interlace your hands either underneath your thigh or around your shin. Roll the shoulders, tuck your chin. And then from here, take your right hand out, your right arm out to the side. You can have it straight or bent. And then gently guide your right knee over to the left. So you might want to place your knee on a block or a blanket, especially if it doesn't quite touch the ground. It might feel nice to have some support underneath your knee. Good. You can keep your left hand on your right knee, or you can have your left arm out to the left, whatever feels best. The head can look the opposite direction of your knee. And just just let this feel comfortable and good. Let your left leg settle into the earth. Relax the jaw. Now bring some awareness to your right hip, and oftentimes the right sitting bone and the right hip bone will kind of lift up towards the shoulder. So see if you can draw your right hip bone away from your right shoulder, creating a little bit more length in that right side. You might even take your left hand and kind of push your right thigh down if you want to give yourself a manual adjustment. We'll stay here a couple more breaths. And on your next exhalation, gently roll onto your back again. You can hug your right knee into your chest, coming out the way you came in. Circle your right ankle, point and flex the toes. You can even spread the toes and scrunch the toes a little bit. And then release the right leg down, take your arms alongside the body, and just take a moment to notice the left side versus the right side. What feels the same? What feels different? And we'll do all of that on the other side. So inhale, stretch your arms up overhead again. Give yourself a nice big stretch. Again, maybe find a little bit of movement with the wrists or the toes or the ankles, fingers. And then as you exhale, hug the left knee into the chest this time. Again, you can interlace underneath the thigh or around the front of the shin. Either way is perfectly fine. Roll the shoulders into the floor, tuck your chin gently. And then on an exhalation, take your left knee over to the right. Again, resting your knee on a blanket or a block would feel nice. Left arm is out to the left, bent or straight. Head can be center or look towards the left. Right hand can be on the left knee or out to the side. And just take a moment to honor the difference between the two sides of your body. Allow your right outer hip to settle. And then draw your left hip away from your left shoulder like we did on the first side. Maybe even manually giving yourself a little adjustment if you'd like. Keep breathing. And when you feel balanced between the two sides, you can roll onto your back again, hug your left knee into your chest. And then release the left leg down beside the right leg, arms alongside the body as well. And again, just notice left side and right side. Alright, so we're just going to do a little bridge rolls from here. So go ahead and bend your knees, place your feet flat on the floor, arms alongside the body, palms facing up. And you want your feet to be close enough that you can kind of graze your heels with your fingertips. You want your feet to be sitting bone distance apart. And we're just gonna do this really slowly, so we're gonna kind of work our way all the way up into a full bridge. It's gonna take us a few rounds. So we'll start by just, as you exhale, just press the feet into the floor so much that the entire low back presses into the earth. Think about drawing your rib cage toward, your two sides of your rib cage towards the midline. And then as you inhale, just let that release. So now there's like a little space between your lower back and the floor. And then as you exhale again, press into your feet, take the whole low back into the earth, and then just roll up, maybe the tailbone and one or two vertebrae off the floor. And then let that release. Again, creating a little space, like a little toy truck could drive underneath your low back. And then press into your feet again, Low back presses in, curl up a little bit higher this time, and then slowly release down. So we're just gonna keep going like that. You can go at your own pace. So with each inhale, you're gonna roll up, and with each exhale, you'll roll back down, coming back to your neutral spine. And you might decide that you want to just keep this going, rolling up and rolling down with each breath. You might decide that you want to hold for a few breaths when you get up into one of the bridge positions, or you might want to hold for a few breaths when you come back down. So it's really up to you. You can also you can decide not to come up very high, or you can come up all the way into bridge, seeing how high you can lift your hips. This is a really good way to just listen to your own body, listen to your own inner wisdom, and honor whatever message you're receiving. Notice the sensation as you lift up, and then the sensation as you lower back down. The mat on your body, or the air between your body and the floor. And maybe take 1 or 2 more rounds. And when you're ready, we'll all meet back in this first position of just feet on the floor, knees bent, hanging out here. Beautiful. Okay, next we'll come to a seated position. So you can come to seated many ways. One way is to just roll to one side and press yourself up. You can also take a few spinal rolls, kind of roll yourself up if you want to be a little more playful. Roll yourself up to seated. All right, so go ahead and grab your blanket in case you want it. We're going to come into all fours, and so it's nice to have a little bit of padding for the knees. But if you don't need that, that's fine too, obviously. So we're going to come into all fours. And as you come in, you want your hands, your wrists under your shoulders, and your knees slightly behind the hips, toes tucked under. Spread your fingers nice and wide, and see if you can bring equal weight into the index finger side of your hand as well as the pinky edge side of your hand. And we're just going to take some cat-cow here. So as you inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin, reach your heart up and forward. You can even turn the gaze up. And then as you exhale, draw the belly up and in, tuck the chin round the back. So right where that block was earlier, think about moving that part of your back from the inhale to the exhale. So inhale again, coming into cow pose, reaching the heart forward, melting the heart, and then exhale, chin to chest, belly to spine. So similar a little bit of what we were just doing on our backs with those bridge rolls. So just keep going here, a couple more rounds. And if there's any movement that your body's wanting, maybe like swaying the hips from side to side or rolling the head, or maybe even kind of pushing back into a little bit of a child's pose and then coming back forward, please let yourself be free here to move in any way that feels good, getting into the side bodies or more lengthening through the spine. It's up to you. Let's take a couple more rounds here. All right, so we're gonna keep going with this kind of like undulation of the spine flow. So you can watch me, I'll say it as I do it for the first few rounds, but we're just gonna flow between child's pose and all fours. So you can have your toes tucked or untucked, whatever feels best in your body. So we're going to, the exhale will be child's pose, so we'll start there. So you can have your toes tucked or untucked. Maybe you want to get a little stretch through the bottoms of the feet, so tucked toes might feel nice. Forehead on the floor. And then as your next inhale rolls around, tuck your chin, lead with the back of the neck like you're coming into a cat position, And then as you inhale, lift the chin out of the chest and come back into your child's pose. Inhale again, tuck the chin, rolling up into all fours, and then exhale back, child's pose. So again, just like a bigger undulation of the spine. Sometimes it's really nice to just close your eyes and just feel this flow as you come in and out of these two postures, flowing with your breath. So allow the breath to guide the length of each posture and each transition into the posture. And take one more round, and the next time you come into child's pose, we'll all meet there with your toes untucked this time. Forehead on the floor, and if it's uncomfortable for you, you can place your forehead on a block. If your forehead doesn't comfortably reach the floor, you can place a block under your forehead, and that can feel really nice. Relax the jaw. Take a few deep breaths, noticing the back body as you inhale, how it expands. Good, and then we'll just take a little side bend here. So from this child's pose position, begin to walk your hands over to the right, maybe coming all the way off your mat. Let your head release between your two arms. And then you'll notice that your left shoulder lifts a little bit as you do this. So see if you can draw your left shoulder down. And then you can crawl your left fingertips a little bit more forward. You can crawl your right fingertips a little bit more forward. And then let yourself settle. So you can decide how much work you want to do here. You can come over more to the right. You can have your arms really strong and straight, or you can just let yourself kind of relax, elbows bent, jaw relaxed, breathing easily. Good, then gently walk yourself back to center. And we'll do the same thing on the second side. So begin to walk your body over to the left now, coming over as far as you would like, maybe all the way off your mat. This time dropping the right shoulder towards the earth, crawling your right fingertips forward, and then crawling the left fingertips forward. And again, just take a notice of the two sides of the body. Which side feels more open or more tight? And when you feel balanced between the two sides, come back to center. All right, and then from here we'll come back into all fours. Tuck your toes under. Again, check in with your hands. Equal weight between the inside and the outside of the hands. And as you exhale, draw the hips up and back. Come into downward facing dog. Good, so you won't be here too long, but just take a moment, maybe pedaling out the feet, checking in, make sure that your head is relaxed, your breathing is easy, and let the heels release towards the ground. Even if they don't touch the ground, just let them kind of fall towards the ground. Nice, good. All right, and then from here, walk your feet up to your hands. And just take a few moments here. You can place your hands on blocks if the floor feels too far away. And then from here, bend your knees slightly. We're gonna come up to standing. We're gonna do so, we're gonna roll up. So let your arms and head hang, and we're just gonna slowly roll up to standing, one vertebra at a time. So more kind of the rolling of the spine up. And once you come all the way to standing, take the arms up overhead. Grab the left wrist with the right hand and just take a little side bend over. Let your head relax. Come back to center. Grab your other wrist and come to the other side, the left side. Let your head relax. And then come back up. And then imagine you're going to pull on like a rope or something and like pull your elbows down and lift your heart up. Look up, reach up, open the heart. Remember where that block was? Imagine that block is pushing your heart up to the sky. And then inhale, come up. And exhale, slowly release your arms down to side. And then just check in for a moment. Make sure your feet are parallel. We're gonna stay here for a little while. Jennifer's gonna read us another visualization in the standing posture. So feet aligned, shoulders releasing from ears, chin gently tucked like you're resting your chin on a countertop.
And as you hear the words that I speak, see the images on the screen of your mind. See the Himalayan mountain and the ice on top. The top of the Himalayan mountain is eternally covered with ice. Even though the glaciers come down, ice is always on top. See, your brain is like the Himalayan mountain, with peaks and crevices going through. See, it is also covered with ice. See that the ice on the mountain seems to be still, not moving, but it is moving. There's a slight vibration of movement in the ice as the glaciers come very slowly down, very slowly. See in your brain as the ice comes very slowly down, bits of ice and water move through your eyes, cheeks, mouth, and neck, all the way down, but very slowly. Feel the vibration created by movement as it loosens any congestion and moves slowly downward. As the ice reaches the chest, it breaks into an avalanche. Feel the avalanches tumble over your chest as the vibration moves down through your body. See, it separates symptoms from the center of the mountain. And the legs become long, very long. Feel the vibration move down through long legs until they reach the Kashmir Valley. There's a feeling you have come home. Feel the feet in the earth of the Kashmir Valley and see the vibration that has traveled through your body move into the earth. See how the earth responds.
Noticing the steady earth underneath your feet, we'll move into a balancing posture, tree pose. So you can blink your eyes open if they're still closed. And draw awareness to the left foot, the left leg. You can place your hands on your hips to begin if you'd like, or at your heart. And you can take your right foot to the inside of your left leg at any degree that you'd like. So maybe the toes will stay on the ground. Maybe you'll walk your foot up your leg a little bit higher, maybe all the way up to your inner thigh. But let this be easy and grounded, and just notice the earth beneath the feet, the steadiness of your own body holding you up. Beautiful. When you're ready, slowly let that release. Try not to fidget into that left leg. Let the sensation just kind of leave the leg, much like the ice flowing down the mountain. And we'll do the other side when you're ready. So bring your weight into the right leg now, noticing the strength and stability there, and then bringing your left foot to the inside. Again, the toes can stay on the floor, or maybe you want to walk your leg up a little higher, your foot up rather, a little higher on your leg. Hands can be at the heart or at your hips. Breathing is easy. Body is strong. Mind is focused. And when you're ready, let that release. Notice both feet planted on the earth again. Notice the sensation leave the right leg. Moving slowly when you're ready. Inhale, take the arms out, up and overhead. Look up towards your palms as you bring them together. Take your hands to your heart and down to side. We'll do that 2 more times before coming into a forward fold. Inhale, arms lift, palms touch, look up. Exhale, hands to heart, chin to chest, hands release down. Last time like that. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, hands to heart and to side. All right, so we'll do that again, this time ending in a forward fold. Inhale, arms lift up. And as you exhale, take your hands to your heart, hinge at the hips, bend your knees as much as you need, place your hands on blocks or floor, let your head release. And then from here, generously bend both knees. And as you inhale, straighten the left leg, or make it straighter than the right one at least, and then release back down, both knees bent, and then straighten the right leg. And continue here 2 or 3 more times to each side, alternately straightening and bending your knees. Maybe you lift your heel, maybe you keep both heels on the floor. You decide. And then once you've done both sides equally, come back to center. And then from here, we'll take the left foot back and take the left knee onto the ground. So again, you might want some padding under your knee. And you also might want blocks under your hands. So you can have them on any height that feels appropriate to you. I like personally to have my back toes tucked under, at least at first. It brings a little more strength, I feel like, into the posture, but you can do whatever feels best in your body. So we're gonna just flow again. So the in-breath will be this lunge, and the options are to be just here on the blocks. You can also have your hands to floor. You can come up into more of a high lunge situation. So it's really up to you. We're gonna have a lot of time to just explore this. And the exhale, the out breath will be like a little leg stretch. So the toes will come up and back, hands can be on blocks or not, and you can come into this posture as deeply as you'd like. So we're just gonna flow in and out of these two postures. So the inhale will be the lunge. Again, any variation that you want with your hands is fine. And then the out breath is the leg stretch. So you can decide if you want to just flow in between these two postures without much holding, or you might decide to hold the lunge for a couple of breaths if you're really feeling into this stretch. And I will say that untucking the back foot and kind of pressing into the back foot as you settle into your lunge can be a really nice quad stretch and psoas release. So if you know that you're tight in those areas, it might feel really nice. So just take several more breaths exploring between these two postures. And this really is just your own time with your body and your breath. So there's no wrong way to do this. There's no wrong answer. As long as you're breathing and as long as you're listening to what you need. And if you're not sure, just try something. You can look around. And let's see, let's do one more full round, and then when you come back into your lunge next time, we'll meet there together. Okay, good. So from here you can release the blocks, and we're going to take the right knee back to meet the left knee. And I'll offer a few options here. If you want to make this a little more challenging, you can take your knees up and come into a full plank and then lower down that way. Or you can take your knees to the earth and lower down in one plane that way. It's up to you. So from here, take your elbows underneath your shoulders and spread your fingers wide. We're going to do a little cat-cow type motion here. So this is Sphinx pose. So press strongly into the tops of your feet. And then as you inhale, come into like a cow motion. So remember where that block was. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and lift your heart where that block was. And then as you exhale, tuck the chin, round your back. You may even lift the belly up off the floor as you come into like a cat position. Inhale again, coming into the cow position here. And then exhale, rounding the back. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, reaching the heart forward, and exhaling, rounding the back. Good, then we'll just come into Sphinx and hold for a few breaths. So we're just gonna reach the heart through the gate of the arms. Chin is neutral, gaze is on the horizon, shoulders are coming down and away from the ears. On an exhalation, take your elbows to the side, stack your two hands, let your forehead rest on your two hands. And then from here, take your right knee out to the right. So you're just gonna bend your right knee out to the right. Flex your foot. Yep. It's as simple as this. And we're just gonna be here for a few breaths, a few more breaths, maybe 10 or so breaths. So you can decide if you want your foot to be more flexed or more relaxed. Maybe you want to bring your knee a little bit higher up, or maybe you want to have it not so high. So you can kind of just decide what works for you. Maybe you want to wiggle your hips a little bit. Relax the jaw. And then very gently straighten your right leg. You might want to take the opposite hand on top just to get a little bit of balance in the body, and then take your left knee out to the left now. Again, you can decide how much or how little you want this to go up or down. if you want your foot flexed or not. And you might notice here too, what side feels easier, what side feels more open, what side feels tight. We can get a lot of insights about how we hold our body during the day unconsciously when we start to notice which side of the body is tighter, more open. It's these small misalignments or small movements that we do kind of unconsciously throughout the day that can just cause tension in the body or maybe even cause injury after long periods of time. So slowing down enough to notice these things can be really helpful. And then when you're ready, come back to center. Wiggle the hips a little bit. And then slide your hands underneath your shoulders so your fingertips are in line with the middle of your chest. Squeeze your inner elbows towards one another. Press into the tops of your feet. And then come up into a little baby cobra. Reach the heart forward, back of the heart to the front of the heart. And then exhale, child's pose. You're welcome to come into downward facing dog if you prefer. Either way is fine. And from here, let's come back into all fours. And then this time we'll take the left foot in between the hands. Go ahead and grab your blocks again. And everything we did on the first side, we'll do again here. So again, we'll start with this lunge. Toes can be tucked under if you'd like at first, and then maybe untuck them as you get going. And we're just gonna flow. So the exhalation, stretch the legs straight, come into your little leg stretch situation here, and the inhale comes into your lunge. Again, your hands can be anywhere that feel good. You might wanna just switch it up every time you come in and out of this. And again, you can make this as much or as little as you'd like. And you might notice that this side, maybe you want to stay longer in the leg stretch in this side because this hamstring feels tighter. Maybe you want to stay longer in the lunge because this back quad feels tighter. So what you did on the first side doesn't necessarily mean you have to do the same thing on this side. This foot a little bit more forward so your knee is staying over your ankle. Yeah. Beautiful. Again, maybe you want to close your eyes, maybe not. It's really up to you. And whenever you are feeling complete between the two sides, we'll meet back in that lunge. So maybe 1 or 2 more rounds and we'll meet back in our lunge. Good, and then from here, let's take the left knee back again to meet the right. And then we're just gonna swing the legs around and come to seated with the legs stretched straight out. So, sometimes it can be really nice to sit on a blanket here. So you can fold your blanket up. I just folded it from this way just one more time. And then you can sit on it, and it allows the pelvis to kind of come forward just a little bit, which can create a little more space so you can come forward easier. If you'd like, you can place blocks under your hands. We're gonna sit, this pose is called seated stack pose. So this is kind of the first of all the seated postures. So you want to press down into your hands, either into the blocks or into the floor. Draw your toes up and back. legs are strong and straight, and then lift your chest. Remember, like almost like you're in like a sphinx pose situation here. Heart is lifting through the gate of the arms. Now keeping all of that, take your arms up overhead, and as you exhale, release forward. Maybe the hands will reach the feet, maybe the hands will come to the floor, maybe the hands will just kind of rest on the legs. I like to sometimes take my 2 blocks and let my head rest on the blocks. And then once you're in whatever position you want to be in, you can let your feet kind of release, especially if you're letting your head rest on the blocks, turning this into a more restorative posture. You can, of course, have your knees bent if you need more blocks.
I was laughing at myself.
I need to hold it. That's okay. You have to start somewhere. One of my teachers used to say she could tell the advanced practitioners in the room because they would use props. And they would know when and when not to use them. So props are a good thing. It can be very helpful in any way you need to use them. All right, and then we'll come on up and have at least one block kind of off to the side that you can easily grab if because we're going to need it when we come onto the floor here in a second. So you can come onto your back again when you're ready. Roll onto your back. When you get there, you can hug your knees into your chest, maybe sway a little from side to side. Circle the ankles. Point and flex the feet. Good. All right. And then from here, release the feet to the floor. And take your right ankle onto your left knee. And place your right hand on your inner right knee. And imagine your leg is like a butterfly wing, and you're just going to flutter that one wing. So as you inhale, you're going to take the knee in, and then as you exhale, you're going to press the knee out with your hand. So just a couple of rounds here, inhaling and exhaling. So you're kind of letting the knee come in towards the midline on the inhale and pressing it back on the exhale. Sometimes it feels nice to place your left hand on your upper right or upper left thigh and kind of press that hand into the left thigh as you're doing this. For me, it just kind of adds a little more groundedness or balance. So just a personal preference. And the next time you take your knee out, pause there. And then option to stay just as you are, if this feels like enough, or if you want a little bit more, you can fold your left knee into your chest, and then take your right hand through the hole that your right leg is making. And you can either interlace your hands underneath your left thigh, or around the top of your left shin. And then notice if your shoulders are lifting, or if your chin is lifting. So tuck your chin to your chest and let your shoulders release towards the floor. And you might want to sway a little from side to side here as well. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, slowly let that release. Place both feet on the floor. Take a moment. Notice left side, notice right side. And then we'll do all of that on the left side now. So take your left ankle onto your right knee, flex your left foot, place your left hand on your inner left knee, and begin to open and close the left knee like a butterfly wing fluttering. If you liked having your hand on that bottom leg thigh, you can place your right hand on your on the top of your right thigh. And the next time you draw your knee open, we'll stay there. And then again, you can stay like this, or you can hug your right knee into your chest. The hands can come in between, or excuse me, underneath the right thigh or on top of the right shin. And maybe a little movement feels good here. Maybe you want to just find one place and stay there. Again, chin is slightly tucked, shoulders are rolling into the earth. And then let that release when you're ready. We'll just do one more thing before coming into Shavasana. So feet are on the floor, knees are bent. Grab your block that you have handy, and then lift your hips and slide your block either on the lowest setting or the second lowest setting underneath your low back. So I was in a class once and the teacher described it like this, which I really like, because everyone knows exactly what it means, but like right where like a plumber's crack is, you want the block to be right above the plumber's crack. Like the flat part of your beginning where your butt is and your back ends. But it's like the perfect visual. Beautiful. And if this isn't feeling juicy, then you can always raise your hand and let me know, or you can just ditch the block and just be flat on the ground with your knees knocking in on one another. And from here, you can stay just as you are with your knees bent, or if you'd like, you can bring one leg up to the sky, or the other leg up to the sky, and then both legs up to the sky. And again, if this doesn't feel good with the block, then just do this without the block. It's all about listening to what you need and what makes sense in your body right now. If your legs are extended, you can keep them there. Maybe up to 10 or 12 breaths. And when you're ready to release, please do so slowly and intentionally, sliding the block out from underneath you, rolling yourself back down to the earth. And then coming into Shavasana, so you can just stretch your legs straight, take your arms alongside your body. You could place a blanket over you. Sometimes just having a folded blanket like over the hips can feel really nice, a little bit of weightiness. You can also place your folded blanket under your head for a pillow. And then let your 2 feet just fall away from one another. The arms are coming out to the side, palms facing up, if that feels okay. Begin to bring your head to neutral, so both sides, all 4 sides of the neck are long. Allowing your body to surrender and melt into the earth below. Knowing that she's always holding you and supporting you.
And as you lie comfortably on your mat and hear these instructions, let an image come into your mind. And continue seeing the image until your body responds, feeling the image in your body as well as seeing it in your mind. See cold stones, round and flat. One under each heel of your foot. One each side of the small of your back. One under each shoulder. One under the head with the head resting on it. Lie on your back and the stones and feel the cold penetrate into the body. Feel the cold entering the body and in any area where there is pain or discomfort. The cold goes in and releases the heat. See yourself sitting facing the twilight on a fall evening, looking up through the trees at the midnight blue sky. It is peaceful and relaxing.
body to remain just as it is. No need to move just yet. But begin to deepen your breath. Imagine now the breath moving from your toes all the way up to the top of your head as you inhale. And then imagining the breath move from the top of the head all the way down out the feet as you exhale. Inhalation from the toes to the head. And the exhalation from the head out the toes. The invitation here is for you to stay just as you are to end your practice, or if you prefer to end seated, you can do that as well, gently rolling to one side and then pressing yourself up when you're ready, moving intentionally and gently as you transition from lying down to seated if you choose to end seated. When you're ready, you can place one hand on your heart and the other hand on top of that hand. And if you're seated, you can bow your mind to your heart and your hands as a gesture of honoring this beautiful space, honoring yourself, honoring each one another, each other as we come together. And may the goodness we have done here today be of benefit to all beings. May all beings everywhere feel joy, feel freedom, and feel safety. All beings, even the ones we don't like. Namaste.
Namaste.